All right, hey everyone. If you're seeing this video, first of all, I have just finished crying off of the Her Christmas Cookie cover reveal, so that was fun. And now I've taken a break. I watched a bunch of TikToks. I hydrated a little bit, and I had to charge my camera because I was recording this video and it died. So here we are again. Okay. So if you're seeing this video, it means that the Welcome to Seaport relaunch is on. It means that my assistant Kai and I got all our little ducks in a row and it's available, right? It's now available for pre-order. If you remember from the first video, if you saw the first video, this was originally going to be a Kickstarter, but as I said, I'm a little Kickstartered out. But I realized that the actual issue I was having personally with Kickstarter is that I don't like deadlines. And the way that Kickstarter works is that you have, I don't know, I think it's like 60 days max to run your campaign. But like they believe that if it doesn't fund in a month, then it's not going to fund. And while that could be true, I think that's a little too stressful for me personally. I would rather take the full 2 months. And also, if I'm honest, there's not really anything I need to Kickstarter necessarily. I'll talk about that in a second. I was going to release these books no matter what, maybe not quite in this way and maybe not with some of these extras, but I was going to release these books again. And so I want to talk you through what our sort of Kickstarter light version looks like, what all you get, what fulfillment looks like. And then if you find that like this is like out of your price range, when it'll be available more broadly. I think those are my 3 agenda items. Okay. So I'm reading all of this literally on the website that you should have had access to in the Welcome to Seaport newsletter. I'm going to go through and talk to you about stuff. Yes. Okay. Let me find it. All right. So, like I said, this is a Kickstarter sort of format, which means that we do have tiers. And I'm going to talk you through what you get in all of them, etc. I'm not going to talk pricing because the pricing is a little bit sort of different depending on like when you have access. Is that true? Ish, but there'll be more in the newsletter that should have come with like this, a link to this video anyway. Okay, so the very first tier, the most inexpensive is Sweet Treat. And that is essentially an all digital tier, which means you get all 4 special edition ebooks. And by special edition, I mean that it has some interior formatting. It has a few like other extras that won't be available in the paperback that like goes wide for everyone after this campaign closes, and things like that. You'll also get a digital version of all of these like cover art like postcards that I made, and then you'll get a digital map of Seaport, and then you'll get a digital read-along bingo card. So one of the things I give out at signings in person, or even if you order a book from me, is like a backlist bingo, which has like cute little bingo squares for all of my books. And people really like them. I think they're adorable. My assistant Kai designed it, and so when we started like really hardcore like planning for the stuff in this relaunch, I asked if she could do a version for Seaport, and she said yes. So we can all thank Kai for that. So you'll get a digital version of that, and then you'll get an admission to the Welcome Back to Seaport virtual release party. Is that what she called it? Yes. Which date to be determined. Some of you wanted that, some of you didn't. I did, so we're doing it. That's it. That's the whole point. And then the very next tier is like a paperback version that's called Sweet Heat. And in that one, you get a signed special edition. All of this is signed, obviously. You get a signed special edition paperback, and it has that special interior formatting, and as well as a cover that will be foiled. I don't have a version of that for you. I'll talk to you about that I'll talk to you about that now. So while I didn't have much to Kickstarter, I did want to be really economical with how I like ordered books. Totally unrelated to this, I'm actually switching printers because I think the quality of books I've been getting from the printer I use has been declining over the past like maybe year or so. And I'd rather not. So I'm gonna have to make a whole bunch of like moves in general. And so we're testing out a printer that seems really cool and that will foil covers for this special edition. And so I'm not ordering any books until this whole like pre-order process is basically closed, so that I can order, first of all, the right amount of books, because ordering in bulk will also bring down the individual price of each book. And so this is my goal, to keep them affordable for like all of us. So you'll get 4 signed special edition foiled paperbacks. You'll get the physical version of those art postcards, which all of the art for this entire thing has been done by Hell Honey, who did obviously the covers, as well as the office hours and sabbatical special edition covers. And then you'll also get a magnetic bookmark, which I designed myself. You'll get a paper map of Seaport. So if you would like to hang a map of Seaport, this fictional town in your home, you can. And then you'll get 4 recipe cards. So one of the early reviews of From Scratch, which was really lovely, lots of really good criticism. One of them was like, this needs a recipe. And I was like, I'm never going to do a recipe, because the hell. So there's 4 recipe cards in this. If you read From Scratch and you were like, oh, what's a tea cake? Or you just heard of a tea cake and have never had it, like, you'll get a recipe here. And if I've never said this before, or I know I have, but if you've never heard it, part of the reason why Mary makes tea cakes is because my grandfather, who was the baker in my family, made tea cakes, especially for me as a kid. Like, he made them all the time, but like, they were my favorite dessert. They're still my favorite dessert. And he would make them for special occasions. Like, if I had a bad day, if I like succeeded at anything or whatever, he would come over to my mom's apartment while no one else was there, and he would make tea cakes and either leave them for me, or sometimes he would be there so that we could eat the first tea cake together. That's honestly what he did all the time. He would show up usually at my mom's apartment to do the baking for the family, usually around the holidays. He would make sweet potato pies for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and he would leave 2 at each of his daughters' homes for their family to eat. Why he did that, I don't know, but he didn't like to cook when other people were around, although he made a very special exception for me because I was his favorite. And so this isn't his tea cake recipe. He died before he could pass it on to me, and he was functionally illiterate, so he did not leave it in writing anywhere, but this is a really good approximation of the tea cake I remember as a kid. So you'll get those 4 recipe cards. You'll also get a physical version of the Seaport read-along bingo board, and then you'll get a ticket to the relaunch release party, virtual. And then the big granddaddy of them all is the scorching tier, which is a book box. I have said so many times, I will never do a book box. And now I'm doing a book box. So in this one, you get special edition ebooks and paperbacks. You also get the digital cover art. And then you also get the physical cover art as well. And then this is just for the box, and honestly will only be available here. You will get some NSFW art created by Hell Honey that is fantastic. I almost cursed so much. It is so good. I love it so much. It kind of pains me that it's only available here, but right now it's only available here. So I'm going to make vellum art inserts for each of the books, and you will get them in this book box. So if you are a fan of NSFW art, if you've seen the sabbatical step back, you know what we're working with. They did such a fantastic job. So let's go. And you'll also get the magnetic bookmark. You'll get the digital and paper maps of Seaport. You'll get the digital and paper recipe cards. You'll get the digital and paper read-along bingo board. And you'll get a digital Seaport reading journal that's like a little bit, mostly Seaport, a little bit Katrina Jackson, that I'm designing literally just for this box, and will not be available anywhere ever after. And then you're also getting a tote bag with a really lovely seal that Kai designed that says "Love from Seaport." It's really adorable. I really love it. I absolutely want this tote bag. So really all of this is about giving Kai and I these tote bags. I'm joking, but kind of not. So you'll get that tote bag, and then obviously you'll get a ticket to the Welcome Back to Seaport virtual release party. And then, if you remember, if you've been here long enough, you'll remember that all my books used to be priced at 99 cents. And I was really sort of invested at the time in making the books affordable if you wanted to buy them. That's also why most of my books, actually all of my books for the first few years of my career were in KU, so that they were accessible. Things have changed. So much has changed. The books have changed. The books have grown. And so when these go back, they will go back into Kindle Unlimited, but they will no longer be 99 cents, obviously. But I still care about affordability. And so if the book box especially, or just any of the other tiers, are out of your price range, I understand that. And so you can also buy the ebooks and paperbacks totally alone. If you want to buy only the ebooks, you don't care about any of the perks, you can buy them here. And if you want to buy just the paperbacks, none of the perks, same, you could do so here. And it'll come at a bit of a savings. So you can sort of mix and match this however you want and for your budget. Which is, again, another reason I didn't want to do a Kickstarter, because I didn't want to sort of focus so much on raising enough money if I didn't really need sort of money in general. Or I didn't need money to pull this all together. Some of this I would have done anyway. Some of this I would have just invested money from the business to do. And so I'm just doing it. And so you can sort of make this what you will. So this will open, if you're seeing this, it's open now, but this all will go live on November 15th, and then I'll keep it open for 2 months. In that 2 months, you can buy whatever you want. You can tell your friends, it's fine. But in the first sort of little bit, this will be exclusive to people who are on this newsletter or who are in other of my networks, and then it'll go wide for people after. If you haven't figured this out about me, I'm not really invested in being super popular, especially with this series. As I said at the beginning of the year in some newsletter, the idea here was to make sure that people who love this series could get it. The same people, or in the same vein, the people who love The Spies Who Loved Her series could finally get Asif and Shantae's story, etc. It's about, first of all, me giving things back to those of you who've given so much to me. And doing so in a way that hopefully makes this a really special occurrence, because if you haven't also noticed, I have a bit of a problem with letting releases live and breathe. And so we are going to have 2 months where pretty much most of my social media will be about Welcome Back to Seaport, so that people who want this series in whatever way they can get it have access to it. And after it closes in mid-January, which will be again about January 15th, then I will obviously take a moment to sleep, and then I will start fulfillment. My hope is that I will have gone through all of the fulfillment in 2 months. I also have no idea how many people will order any of these things. I also have no control over how long the printing will take, and so 2 months is probably bare minimum, but also I will make sure to communicate with you all and everyone who orders exactly what we're looking at time wise. So let's just say that 2 months is a bit of my guess about how long it will take me to do fulfillment after it closes, because I am honestly doing this pretty much entirely on my own. Kai will sort of help when she can, but Kai does not live in the US. And if it is overwhelming, I hopefully will be able to rope my mom in to help me. But for the most part, this is going to be just me. And then at some point after, which will be a few months, then I'll make the series available again. When it is available again, though, obviously it won't be foiled covers on the paperbacks, and some of the interior formatting will be either non-existent or entirely changed, because I wanted the relaunch for the people who really wanted to feel like a special occasion, if that makes sense. So I think that's everything. You can go now to the Welcome Back to Seaport page on my website. There should be a link down below in the newsletter. It'll also probably be on the homepage of my website to get you there to buy it. I really hope for those of you who have stuck with me in this long process of talking about the relaunch, but also just waiting for the books to return, I really hope that this is something that you love. This really does represent, for Kai and I especially, something between 6 months and 2.5 years of work. Obviously, for 2.5 years, we have not been working on this process like the entire time, but I would say for the past 6 months, we have, and we still have months of work to go. So my hope is that for all of you who fell in love with Seaport, I think I say this in every video, but I really do mean it. And so I will allow myself to be repetitive. But for those of you who love this series, I really hope that like this relaunch gives you the pomp and circumstance that some of you seem to believe the series deserves. And certainly I am like doing my best to like meet you in that space. And so even though it probably would be my preference to just like sort of fling the books out and sort of move on, I think that the series and I think that you all deserve more. So again, the goal here is to make this as accessible as I can to everyone who wants the series, in a way that doesn't like take over my whole life, but also doesn't just sort of fly by in the blink of an eye. So if you need any more information, feel free to email me. You can also go look at the website to see if it answers some of your questions. And I guess that's it. And I guess, again, if you're seeing this, welcome back to Seaport.